So Steelton Borough working on that budget for 2026, and according to the website, it faces a $400,000 deficit already.
And Andrew Klein is joining us live tonight with how the borough is handling this issue and how it's going to impact you at home. Andrew.
Well, guys, you mentioned that $400,000 deficit. Of course, that's not where the borough wants to be, so they have to weigh their options. They could either cut some staff or raise taxes. Steelton Borough exploring all options in an effort to close a $400,000 budget deficit. That's what the first line of a Steelton Borough website release reads, and now there are more answers. A document released by the borough shows the budget increase by more than $230,000 going into 2026. The borough interim manager confirming to CBS 21 today that property taxes would be increased by up to 10%. This rather than cutting staff positions, and he says that no position cuts are planned at the current moment. The budget outline document released by the borough also saw nearly $200,000 as the police chief's salary. But Mayor Sierra Dent confirmed today that this would not be the case, and new police chief Shockey Lacey would not be receiving a salary increase. And earlier today, I reached out to both the chief of police and the borough council president, but I did not hear back from either one. Live in Dauphin County, Andrew Klein, CBS 21 News.
The borough of Steelton has announced its budget for 2026, and it is going up. That is going to mean more money for taxpayers. Yes.
Yeah, Andrew Klein looking into this, breaking things down with this budget. So how much money are we talking here as far as increases go?
Yeah, guys, the increase of about $230,000+ right now for that budget. The other interesting note, though, the borough said that the budget was actually facing a deficit of $400,000. So that was something that they were working to make up, $400,000 in deficit. But as you mentioned, your question, the budget itself increased. The increase was $230,000 from last year to this year.
Okay, so what does that mean for, John Q. Public, the average taxpayer?
Yeah, so that $400,000 is something the borough was looking to make up. They had two choices. They were either going to cut some jobs or they were going to increase taxes, and they decided they're going to increase property taxes. So up to 10% will be increased. Right now they say they're not cutting many jobs, but if you're listening at home, that increase of property taxes is coming in 2026.
Okay, do we know anything that the borough's trying to do to help make that cost hurt a little less?
Yeah, of course they are trying the tax increase, but the other thing that I read in an email earlier from the interim borough manager was that they're actually using a new phone bill or a new phone service to try to cut costs a little bit. So they say that's going to make things a little bit cheaper. They are still looking into if there are any unfilled positions that could be cut right now to also try to save costs. So they're doing whatever they can to try to manage costs a little bit and try to make a little bit extra money to go towards that deficit.
Is this a surprise? Did they see this coming? Because, we're already into 2026. We're talking about the budget now, and those numbers don't seem to change too much. They should have really saw this coming, right?
Right. We reached out to the mayor. We're hoping to hear from her, maybe later today if she hasn't responded just yet. So in terms of it being a surprise, the state budget certainly took a long time to get here. This, the $230,000, might look like a big increase to some and may not look like such a huge increase to others. But I think the property tax thing might be a little bit more surprising. When I spoke to a few different people today, it wasn't something they were super aware of, and it definitely wasn't something they were very excited to hear about either.
Yeah, last thing real quick, $230,000. Out of how big of a budget is the budget for Steelton?
Yeah, it's over $4 million. Around $4.5 million is where the budget is sitting. Right. So the $230,000, yeah, compared to that full number, might not look like too much.
Yeah, it's just going to look like a lot on people's property tax bills. So appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for updating us on that.
Of course, yeah.